All right, folks, we're about to get busy up in this camp right quick, y'all. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and we got another hot show today, folks. Oh my God, I don't know where they're coming from, but they're coming, baby. We are here. Dusty's here. Let's get ready to get started, y'all. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park, you are live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. It's going down like 4 flat tires on a broken elevator. Hey, folks. Got it going down. We got it going down. My boy just stepped in. Dusty's here. Folks, join the party, y'all. Join the party. Dusty, I see TARIQ in the room. Let's bring him in right now. We're gonna get it right now.
Yeah.
TARIQ,
Good.
Doc.
Why am I? I'm close as hell to the camera. What kind of
Yeah, we got a serious. We got it. That's almost an X-ray shit. That's so goddamn close.
I know. Let me get this thing right. I'll get this right.
Yeah, folks.
Okay.
I see the chat room is already loading up right here, folks.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the show, TARIQ.
Hey man, a pleasure. Dusty, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
All right, brother Lonzo, how you been, man?
Man, I'm hanging like a chandelier with a good grip, Doc. I'm all right. Just trying to shine.
Yes, sir.
I'm fantastic. Plus, my screen is choppy. Y'all is pretty smooth. We're gonna get a great audio no matter what happens. God damn it, I don't know what's going on. I dumped all my shit. I dumped all my old videos, so I have some room. For some reason, this shit is going a little choppy right now, but we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, man. We'll make it work, man. Before we get started, while TARIQ's doing his thing, Lonzo, how do you and TARIQ know each other?
I did his show a few years ago. He hit me up and we kicked it on the show. And he was always a good brother with me. I've been following him on Facebook.
What happened?
And there goes Lonzo. Looks like it's just me and you till he figures it out. Looking good, TARIQ. Looking good, man. What's been up with you lately?
Man, just grinding, putting projects together, man. Just making it do what it do. You in LA, Dusty? You out here?
Yeah. Yep. I'm Los Angeles, California myself.
Oh, good. My man.
Yeah, right off top, Montana Max says, thanks for Hidden Colors, bro.
Oh, appreciate
Great documentary series. Can you tell us a little bit about Hidden Colors for those who don't know about it? I know it's about, 10 years old now, but can you give us a little idea of how that came about?
Yeah, the Hidden Colors series, man. We started doing that, and we started filming 2010, and we put it out 2011. And we put it out because no movies were being done really where we at?
Now it's just me.
Yeah.
He's figuring something out on his head. Keep going. All right, there he is.
There we go.
All right, go for it.
Rearrange. We're here.
TARIQ's talking about Hidden Colors, his series from about 10 years ago. That was one of the first questions. So he was just telling us how that came about.
Yeah, tell us about that, Doc, please.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, we started doing the Hidden Colors series because at the time there were no movies really going in about our history and who we were as Black people. At the time, we had a lot of movies like The Help, The Blind Side, Precious, and all of these movies that showed a very degraded image of us. So we just needed a counterbalance. Nobody was doing it. And that's when I stepped in and said, hey, let me use some of my production skills to put something together and let me see how it does. And fortunately, it took off and it became a history-making documentary series.
How many episodes or chapters do you have to that movie?
Yeah, we did 5. It was 5. We did 5 total. We did 5, and all of them are bestsellers. And what I'm gonna share this link on my stuff too on my social media, so we're gonna get a flood of people in here in a second. But yeah, I started doing my thing with the Hidden Colors series. We did 5. I stopped at 5 because there were so many other topics within the film series that we could talk about. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Oh, dope. Should we just start getting the questions? Because there's a lot, man. You have anything specific, Lonzo, you want to start with?
No, let's go to the chat room. Let them have.
Okay, cool. I got it. Yeah, we got a lot here. Let's go back before you transition to becoming a documentary, filmmaker and content creator. Early in your life, you wrote books on how to pick up women. Can you talk about how that started and where that went and what got you in that direction?
Yeah, 1999. That's when I wrote my first best-selling book called The Art of Mac. And at the time, if you remember, in the 90s, they were coming out with these real sensitive books that were giving men the wrong advice. They had these Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus type of books. all these books telling dudes to give women 10 hugs a day. It was some real cornball stuff. And women really, on the surface, they say, oh yeah, that's cool. But behind the scenes, women didn't really like that stuff. And I wanted to write a book about relationships that was really unapologetic, that really was the antithesis to all of these simpy books that were out at the time. So I deliberately made a title that was very titillating. And I said, hey, I'm gonna write a book called The Art of Mackin', the official book on how to be a player. So that was very controversial at that time. And the book became a huge seller, huge big seller all around the world. And what's funny, women started buying the book more than guys. And then my second book was a book for women. Simon & Schuster gave me a book deal. I did a book called Player Be Played. So I would write books for men and women at that time. But I got my start being an author, and my books ushered in that whole pickup artist movement that popped off in the mid 2000s. So then I started transitioning into the film thing, because a lot of people would ask me questions about relationships that would always kind of relate to race at the same time. Race and relationships kind of go hand in hand, because you end up talking about procreation. So that's how I kind of gradually transitioned into talking about racial politics as well. So all of it came from the Art of Mackin' books.
Love it. I love it.
Interesting.
You know, a few people asked about your stance on reparations and your fight for reparations. Can you talk to us a little bit about, you know, what you've been up to lately? And I guess I'll add a question to that as well. What would be ideal settlement for the, you know, Black Americans for what the country has done to them? You know, what would, in your opinion, make it square, I guess, for lack of better?
Yeah, so I've been very much up on the reparations thing out here in California. I was very instrumental in speaking on the task force and corresponding with some of the people that's putting the task force, well, that put the task force together, and getting all of the documents out there to the public. Was adamant about it being lineage based. That was the first hurdle, because what happens is when we talk about reparations, there gets a lot of trick bag language gets mixed in. They start talking about reparations, and all of a sudden, everybody's qualified for reparations. So if everybody's qualified for it, it's not really reparations. We had to make sure that the reparations were going to be specifically for foundational Black Americans who descended from slaves. We just had a big rally. This is my rally for reparations shirt right here. We had a huge rally in Washington, D.C. last month talking about reparations. Thousands of people came out. We're stumping for reparations. Out here in California, they're leading the charge, and we're pushing them to lead the charge on coming up with dollar amounts. So they're now putting out dollar amounts specific to our lineage. They're starting off talking about $233,000 for each foundational Black American in California who descended from slaves as a form of reparations. That's a great start. I think that's a phenomenal start. Some people say that's not enough. It's not enough, but that's a start. We got to start somewhere. We have too many Black people out here. Yes, indeed. We got Black people out here homeless. The homeless epidemic is pitiful out here. I hate to see so many of our Black brothers and sisters who are homeless. We need resources. We need funds. We need what's owed to us. We're not just getting a handout. This is something that's owed to us based on our lineage. All of these other groups come over here and they get our tax dollars, and they're not even citizens. So we are the people who deserve it the most. And I'm fighting tooth and nail to make sure Black people out here in my home, California, get what they deserve, which is reparations for the enslavement and the secondary detriment from enslavement. Because a lot of people like to use the argument, well, I wasn't around during slavery, but you're here in the country that enslaved us and benefited off of us financially. We have to understand slavery was a financial situation. That's why this country became so wealthy. That's why we became a superpower, and other groups have been chipped off instead of us. So we have to get compensation for foundational Black Americans out here in Los Angeles and California first, and then Black people around the country next.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Well, no. This is a statement. It was said before. I'm gonna say it again. If we were able to get reparations, unless we get some financial literacy education, we're gonna have an issue giving the money right back. What do you think about that?
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Listen, Lonzo, there's gonna be knuckleheads out here. They're gonna get a reparations check, and they're gonna go run and buy some rims and some shoes. Let them buy those rims and shoes. The real problem people have is that, look, we Black people, foundational Black Americans, we have so much ingenuity. They understand, listen, we can take nothing and make something out of it all the time. We do it every day. If you give 10 of us reparations, 5 people are going to be millionaires by next year. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
We know how to get money, flip. We know how to do some good shit with some money. We have to stop judging our society by the lowest common denominator. Listen, Lonzo, you are inspiration. I'm a fan of you, Lonzo. You guys took something from nothing. You guys were out here in Compton, and Compton was looked at as the bottom of the barrel in Los Angeles. That was a throwaway city. That's where those niggas live. That's where they live over there, and they do all of the drugs and the crack, and that's where the degenerates live. You guys were in Compton. You took something out of nothing. You created a worldwide phenomenon out of nothing. So with that type of ingenuity, if you give us equal financial gains, we can take it to another level. Look at what we do when we don't have that. Look at what we do when we don't have when we have obstacles and we still overcome those obstacles and thrive.
Got you.
There it is. Hey, Lonzo, just make sure the phone lines are on. We are having a call in if you guys want to ask a quick question. Of TARIQ Nasheed, 424-256-9211 is the question. TARIQ, I have a question kind of piggybacking off of what we're discussing with reparations. Yeah. There was a high percentage of Black people who owned slaves, a very high percentage of Black people owned slaves. How do we differentiate them from the ones who were actually slaves? And do you think just because they're Black, they also get reparations, even though they own slaves?
Well, we got to understand, when Black people owned slaves, usually they were relatives. They would buy their relatives out of bondage, and on the documents it will say this Black person owned this person. He owned his son. He owned his wife, because you had to purchase your family members back. Our brother Denmark Vesey, he was going to lead a reparation, not a reparation. He was going to lead a rebellion out of South Carolina. He would purchase his family members back, and they would be technically his slaves. Down in Florida, you have the some of the Black people in the Black Seminoles. They were enslaved, but just on paper. That was kind of a deal that they had in order to protect themselves from a legal standpoint and from a political standpoint. But it wasn't slavery like the white supremacists were doing. They weren't raping people and beating them and all of this stuff. So for legal purposes, Black people would have to purchase their family members back. So when people use the argument, well, there were Black slave owners, they don't really put it in the correct context.
Wow, that I did not know.
Oh yeah.
So Black folks did not have their slaves, other Black people out there picking cotton, whipping them, things like that?
For the most part, they did not. Now, you did have some of these children who were the mulatto children of the slave owners, who often took on the mindset of their white mulatto, their white supremacist fathers. Some of them may have been abusive, but that wasn't a high percentage whatsoever. Most of the people who were so-called slave owners were people who just bought their family members out of slavery and into freedom. We didn't have huge plantations of Black people picking cotton as Black folks. We just didn't have that, because if we did, the white people would have took our money anyway. They like to bring up, there was a Black man, Anthony Johnson. They like to bring up the fact that that's not even a fact. They say he was the first slave owner in this country, which is not true. The first technical slave owner in the 13 colonies was Mr. Gwynn. It was a guy named Gwynn, and he had a Black slave named John Punch. So a lot of people try to throw there were Black slave owners out there to justify what the white supremacists were doing. It was completely different. Black people were not doing that. And in fact, Anthony Johnson, who they like to brag about being the first slave owner, they took his plantation and took his money. So he was left without anything. So we are still in a system of white supremacy, no matter what. Them talking about a Black slave owner is like talking about Sheriff Clark. He's Black, he's a Black sheriff. So why don't you focus on him? Sheriff Clark is a tool of white supremacy. I'm going to look at the people who's running the system instead of a tool of the people who's running the system.
Taught me something tonight. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Man, I'm glad I had you on the show, Doc. You educating everybody.
Yes,
all 241 guests so far.
Yes,
you got anything, Lonzo, or you want to keep it going on my end?
No, I got a quick question. I know a few years ago, I think it was, you had a visit from the FBI. What was that about?
Oh yeah, I've gotten a couple of visits from them, because they look at me as a person who's somewhat influential, and I'm not controlled by corporate interests, because that's very important. If there's a Black person who's influential, they want to make sure that there are corporate strings attached to him so that he can be reeled back. So that if they say something out of line, they can dangle that check and say, hey, man, you can watch what you say. We're going to get that check from you. That's what they're trying to do to our brother Kyrie, by the way. But they think because I'm influential, if anything happens, they kind of have to check in with me to make sure that I'm not orchestrating anything. So anytime there's a situation that happened And they visited me last time because of a guy who allegedly shot up a subway in New York some months back. He followed me on Twitter. So they hit me up asking me if I knew him. Same thing a few years ago when Micah Johnson shot the police down there in Dallas. They came to my home and they came to other people's homes, other influencers, asking if we knew him, was he a part of any organization that we were a part of. So these were like intimidation tactics. This is them just letting me and others know, hey, we're watching you, so don't you say none out of line because we're watching you, and if we can jump bad on you for something that you didn't say, just imagine what we're going to do if you say something out of line. So it was just an intimidation tactic, which is something that we come to expect.
What about Charleston White, man?
You know, somebody asked me about Charleston White the other day. Charleston White, he's I would say one of the realest dudes on the internet. No matter what you say about him, good or bad, right or wrong, the dude represents a realism that's prevalent in the community that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge. I'll say that. He's a very real dude.
I totally agree with you. I know sometimes he can go over the line to get his antics up and his likes and shares up, but when he's speaking some real shit, that's the part people can't take. People can't accept is that he's speaking some real shit. I don't care for him talking ill about the dead, but that's, everybody has their own feelings about that. But when it comes to the benefit and the detriment of gangbanging in our community for the last 50 years, that civil war has caused too much pain, too much money, and it's hindered us too long for us to still be doing it in 2022. That's my personal opinion. Yes. And I totally agree when it comes to that part. I totally agree with Charleston White.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you explain why you decided to stop appearing on live TV?
No, I still go on live TV every now and then. I do international press all the time. I still do live TV. Certain shows I have to watch going on because sometimes they'll get you on and then they'll mislabel you, because I was getting on like Fox News for a long time and they would keep referring to me as a Black Lives Matter leader. So that type of stuff I didn't like that type of stuff because I was never a leader of anything, and especially not a leader of Black Lives Matter. So
how do you deal with all the attention, man? Negative and positive. How do you deal with all that, Doc?
Oh, that's going to come. Yeah, that's going to come. Anytime you do something progressive and you do something thorough, you're going to get positive and negative attention, especially when you're pushing the line for something as prevalent as reparations. You're going to get a lot of supporters. And as you see, you're going to get a lot of people trolling and hating. A lot of the people who are trolling and hating are the people who are non-Black and non-FBA who don't want to see us focused on ourselves. When we start focusing on ourselves, all of a sudden people kind of have this vibe where we're supposed to sacrifice our well-being to support them. They have no problem getting all the tangibles from our tax dollars, but when we start talking about using our tax dollars for our own tangibles, all of a sudden we get the trolls and the naysayers coming in. So that is what it is.
The other day I was on a Clubhouse call, and they were talking about the N-word, whether to use it or not, and I found it amazing that so many people fought for the right to be called that. And what's your take on that?
Well, the thing is, man, we got to understand the N-word and what the word nigga means, man. We have to put the right definition to it. Nigga just means victim of white supremacy. Always keep it in that context. So all it is, you're just a victim of white supremacy. Keep it in that context, because when white people try to justify using it by saying, well, Black people use it, yeah, we're acknowledging we're victims, and you're acknowledging that you're victimizing us when you use the word. So that's what it is.
All right, I can roll with that one. That makes a little bit more sense. Dusty, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Kanye West and his recent headlines?
Yeah, Kanye West, and I've spoken about him a lot. Some people are trying to chop it up to bipolar issues. My thing is him hanging around a lot of these alt-right radical people. I really have a problem with that. I don't think that has anything to do with a bipolar mindset. That's something you hanging with these guys who have a very low view of Black people. You're hanging with these people, low key, you must feel the same way to a certain degree if you're hanging out with that crowd. So I'm really trying to understand what Kanye's angle is at this point.
Same here. Yeah. What the end game is going to be.
Right. But unfortunately, he's shooting himself in the foot, just kind of saying reckless stuff. When you're in a position that he's in, when you're in that billionaires club to a certain degree, you don't have to blurt out everything that pops in your mind, man. You got to really be tactful with the way you move. We got to learn as Black people how to be strategic, how to play real chess moves, and how to be tactful. What Kanye is doing is not no strategy. Some Black folks are like, well, he's doing a chess move. He's trying to get out of a contract. That's not a chess move. Shooting yourself in the foot to get out of a contract, that's not, and tainting your brand is not a chess move. So I don't know what Kanye's angle is right now, but I hope he's self-sabotaging because of some kind of subliminal insecurities that he has. So I hope he's going to be all right. I root for the best for Kanye.
Yeah. Before we go on, Lonzo, let me ask everyone, we have 1,000 people in the building. Please hit that like button. It really helps out the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If this is your first time, you're tuned in to Not Without Alonzo, N.W.A. Stories with Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. If you don't know the name, do your Googles and go down that rabbit hole. Welcome to the show. If you like what you're hearing, please hit that subscribe button. And also, please follow my channel as well right here on YouTube, Dusty Vision TV. That's Dusty Vision TV. Go for it, Lonzo.
Tim, you threw me off there. Also, we started talking the other last week before last, man, about your museum you're building. Is it a hip hop museum or what are you doing?
It's a Black History Museum. We're doing a Black History Museum, a hidden history, and we're going to have a section in there talking about the history of West Coast hip hop. Okay. Because that's never really dived into. We don't really dive into the real history of the West Coast hip hop gang, who was involved. And it's a very important history because the West Coast hip hop scene really gave birth to a lot of hip hop stations around the country. We had the first all hip hop station in LA, KDAY, as you know. The parties that we see now, those EDM parties with the lights and all that started with you guys in Uncle Jam's Army. You guys were doing parties where thousands of people were showing up. That started right here in Los Angeles. We have to put all of that in context and teach the world the game.
Right. And it's amazing, man. And here's something, TARIQ, this is where me and Charleston White come together and have a serious agreement. Before gangbanging became the national pastime here in LA, we were able to do that we were able to put thousands of kids. I was telling somebody the other day about my parties at the Queen Mary. I'd put 2,000 or 3,000 people at the Queen Mary and bring half of them back at the Eve After Dark, stuff the Eve After Dark till 6 o'clock in the morning, and nobody died. And in the late 90s, when the gangbanging became the national pastime, everybody in the hood, you couldn't put 20 cats in the room without somebody dying. It just gotten worse. But meanwhile, everything that we did, other people are able to take advantage of and make a killing on it because they can put 5, 6, 7,000 people in the room, have a DJ, nothing but a DJ making $100,000 a show. Meanwhile, we can't get a room to have a repast in. So it's amazing how we laid the groundwork for so much, but don't get no credit for it.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to know the history and just to teach us this is what we've created and look at what other people have done with it and taken and flipped it and made it something positive. We could go back to that. When we get something positive going on, we don't have to sabotage it. We don't have to bring in some of that old dusty mentality that doesn't really work, just hating on cats and trying to sabotage them just for the sake of sabotaging them. And that's what started to happen at some of these parties, at the skating rinks, the jams you guys were having. It was just too many of these conflicts that were just non-constructive and just not needed. It was just some unusual nonsense happening that shouldn't have happened, and it messed the game up out here. And we could have all been balling out here, and we could have taken control of a lot of stuff, and we could have had a lot of that stuff still going. And at one point out here in California, man, especially in LA, you could even put concerts on out here in LA, especially a rap show. You did?
Right.
But not so bad. People would have to go out there to Orange County, Inland Empire. You understand? So it got that bad out here. And we had all of this talent out here, but all of the knucklehead stuff anticipated the progress of it. So we have to learn how to check the negativity so that we who try to do positive things in the community, we're not sabotaged.
Thank you, sir. Because one thing that's absolutely positively sure, we don't own the venues, we don't own the insurance companies. If they say that if they say we don't fly, we don't fly.
That's right. That's right.
I remember one time as a young naive promoter, I called to try and book the forum for a rap event. I'm just calling to see what the possibilities was. and the normal price was one thing. I told her it was a rap show. She told me I had to have this, and this, and everything double security. And basically what they do is they get you out by overcharging you. You got to have so much security. Your insurance policy goes from maybe $1 million to $2 or $3 million. You can't get that. You can't get that. So they don't tell you no. They just price you out the range. By the time you get through, basically at that time, your ticket was going to be $100. But nobody paid $100 for tickets back in the 90s. That was a scalper's price. That was scalper's fees. Now they common practice.
Yes, indeed. Now, when you start doing, when you were doing doodles, when you started doing doodles, what year did you do doodles, Lonzo?
1985, 86.
Was Mr. Williams, Deucey Williams, still owning it then? Did he own the building?
When I got there, Mr. Williams was still there.
Okay. When did Mr. Williams die?
He died in 1989, I believe, because I was on the road. I left Doodles, went on the road for a while, and I came back. He had passed. So I think about 89, maybe 88, 89.
Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, and this is why we got to understand history, Mr. Williams was a black business owner. He was papered up. I don't know where Mr. Williams got all the money, but
I do.
But he was papered up. Oh, okay. But he was doing this thing in the 60s. I think, didn't he put out some of the Red Fox records, right?
Deucey Williams was one of the baddest cats around back in the 50s and 60s. He wrote the song Earth Angel. That was his first hit. Okay. He got paid for it. Okay. And he took that Doodles was a helicopter factory. He took it, converted it to Doodles Music Center. He purposely put it where he put it because at the time when he built it, Compton was predominantly white with an all-white police force. And he built it that way on purpose because people from Washington, LA can come in. And it was on the tip of Compton, right past Centennial, on a few houses past Centennial. People can watch, LA can come in, see the hottest acts at that time, Bobby Blue Man, B.B. King, Etta James, whoever it was, Ike and Tina Turner, and be out of LA before the cops can get to him. That's what he told me.
Okay.
That's what he told me. My uniqueness to the history game of West Coast entertainment is I have been trained and groomed by 2 or 3 of the baddest cats in the city, man. One of my influences was Lonnie Simmons from Total Experience Records. Never had a conversation with him in my life, but he was one of my heroes because I went to go see the Dramatics at the at Total Experience, and he got out of his white Rolls Royce and walked into his club, and the first thing I heard was the Gap Band for the first time. I'm like, damn, I thought that was the dopest shit in the world. I'm 19 years old. Then I met Jeffrey Harris, who was one of my dad's best friend, who gave me a shot at a nightclub at 22. And the only reason why I got there because him and my daddy was buddies. But he also was the kind of cat, when I paid my rent, I couldn't just pay my rent and walk out. I had to sit down and get a lesson. On money and all kind of shit. He wouldn't just let me pay my rent and walk out. Most of the time, those conversations were alcohol induced, but there was education. That was an education I couldn't get from USC, dude. Then I met
let me say the Total Experience. You know, they had that on Crenshaw, right?
Right.
No, it burned down.
Right.
And that lot where it burned down, I was going to buy that lot. That's where I was going to put the museum at first. I was going to buy that lot where the Total Experience burned down. And boy, they started giving us all types of runarounds and around that Leimert Park area. Every time we went to try to buy some of the spots there, they gave us every janky excuse in the book, man. They're actively not letting people buy some of that land back in Leimert Park. That's why we had to get our museum area over there in Jefferson Park. But go ahead, Lonzo.
Okay, and I'm just saying, man. When I met Jeffy and Doodles had a little beef. Most people don't know about it because Doodles would bring in the acts like Al Green and BB King or whatever, and back then tickets was like $4. Okay, $4 to see the hottest act at the time, and Jeffy would book him on Sunday for $2, and it was this. It wasn't a beef, but it was like, damn, man, you know, everybody benefited, but old man Deucey didn't like that, and Jeffy was, it was business. It wasn't nothing personal. It was just business. And when it was funny because when I met old man Deucey and I told him I worked for Jeffy, that gave me an in that I probably wouldn't have got if I came in there cold. You see what I'm saying? I had a reference. Yeah. I told myself I worked with Jeffy for the last 4 or 5 years. I want to do so and so and so and so, and he gave me a shot, man. And I offered to sell me the building. I would have bought the building, man. I had the money. I had most of the money, but I didn't have the support from my crew because they wanted all their money. I would have had to put down $50,000 to buy it. He wanted $200,000 for it at that time, and the building was left to the Negro College Fund, and it went for $900,000. I was heartbroken.
Wow. Did you do Dudos before Eve After Dark?
No, I did do Eve. I outgrew Eve and came to Dudos.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Actually, I was doing them both. I was doing both of them simultaneously. I would do Eve Dudos on Friday because I can only get Dudos on Friday, and I would do Eve on Saturday until Jesse just pulled the plug completely. Dudos started off as an experiment because gangbanger got killed at Dudos. Dude named Tam from Pyru got killed at Dudos, and they had the stigma on it, and nobody wanted to go over there. But I had some special connections that most people didn't have. And that was I had a cousin that was on the Compton PD. He ran the security for the swap meet. So I was able to put together a team that old man, Mr. Williams, trusted. And that's how he let me in there. And then while I was doing Dudos, they opened up Skateland. And so when I moved out of Eve After Dark completely, I was doing Dudos on Friday and Skateland on Saturday.
Oh, wow. Wow. But yeah, you out there grinding.
Yes, sir. It was the best grind I had all my life.
Yes, indeed. Those spots were really popping back in those days.
You know what? Because we stayed within ourselves. We stayed within ourselves as promoters, and that made a difference for me because all my people that I work for, and this is what I was saying earlier when I was talking about the other promoters. Jeffy owned that building. Ducey owned that building. So if we had a mishap, they understood what I was dealing with because they had them too. Yeah. So they weren't quick to kick me out or cause me a problem or raise the rent because I had a fight or I had a misunderstanding. They knew that's what we do that sometimes, okay? You get enough fools in the building, somebody going to show off, okay? As long as nobody got killed and there wasn't no melees or nobody got mauled, it was no big deal because, we kind of had a little tolerance for that kind of shit.
Now, Lonzo, I remember when Easy and Dre were on, they did a mix show on K-Day. Right. They started doing. Were you guys doing the mix on K-Day too? Were you and Yellow and all of these other guys and Clientele?
When we did, we first started doing Dudos. Greg Mack first came to California. He and I went to lunch, and I just left the Eve, and I was just going to Dudos, and I was selling these underground mixes called Dope Track. Xerox, and Greg heard one, and he wanted one every day for the traffic jam. So Yella and Dre would do a mix every day. Greg would give us new records, new incoming records from K-Days, from the radio station, and every day they would do a new mix, and then in exchange for that mix, Greg would give us advertising for Dudos, and that's how we. It was the sweetest deal I ever had in my life.
Thank you, Dana, for the $20 donation. Shout out to The Real Dana. Follow her station, please. The Real Dana on YouTube. $20. Thank you.
We have 1,038 people in this call right now, folks.
Thank you, TARIQ. Thank you.
This is one of the biggest ones the biggest one we've ever had. Much love, folks. If this is your first time coming to the show, please like, share, and follow, folks. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. We're trying to get the channel up. Next week's show, I got a confirmation from Eazy-E's bodyguard, Animal. If you watched the Mike Klein show a few weeks ago, he spoke about Animal. Animal was Eazy-E's right-hand bodyguard. He'll be here next week, folks. I already got the confirmation, and he'll be here. So if you want to hear another hot show, check us out next Tuesday. Me and Dusty will be interviewing Animal, who was Eazy's main bodyguard, right next to Mike Klein.
Was Animal that Samoan?
Big pardon?
Was Animal that big Samoan dude?
No. Animal was a brother. He had two big Samoans, John and Jake. They were the Samoan dudes. Yeah. Okay. I remember those guys. Okay. They don't do interviews. I can't find them nowhere. They say they're longshoremen down in Long Beach, but I haven't talked to them. But we were pretty tight as well. All his whole crew, and this is the part people forget. Many people don't know. When Eazy, after he made his money, he would still come to my house and hang out, and he bring these guys with him. That's why they know me. They come to my house and hang out with Eazy. I mean, Yella was doing porno back in the studio, and this was the place to be. You got a bunch of naked girls running around here, and I ain't gonna tell you I ain't saying what nobody did or what nobody didn't do, but it was fun to be around here back in the day, and these guys would come by and hang out.
Oh wow, that's what's up.
Walls could talk, man. If walls could talk. Hey,
These
Tariq,
walls
thank you. Before we
Go
let
ahead.
you go, I would love to ask you to give some advice to people out there, you know, future filmmakers, future documentarians, future content creators. You know, just give them some advice on, you know, how you made it to where you are today.
Yeah, great question. And look, if you guys want to get into documentary filmmaking, man, you got to be very passionate about what you are filming, and you got to have knowledge about it. Your level of expertise is going to really take it to the next level. And also surround yourself around other people with the same level of knowledge. Also, my thing is always get to the point. Don't put your ego in it. A lot of times people want to make films so they can highlight themselves, and people can see that's like a vanity project. You don't want to do that. Focus on the knowledge. With my films, I make sure that everybody outshines me in my own films. I want you to outshine. I want you to be the best looking and the best speaking person you can be in the films, because I want the messaging to get out there, and that will resonate with the audience. So always focus on the message that you're ultimately trying to give to your audience. And when I do my films, the ultimate message I want to give my audience is empowerment. That's why all of my films, they have solutions at the end of them. When you watch this film, this is what you should do with the knowledge that you've just absorbed. Do this in your community. Do that in your home. Do this in the corporate structure. Always utilize solutions with whatever knowledge that you get.
You have any more projects coming up?
Yes, indeed. I have a streaming site called FBA Stream that's going to be released next month. We have a brand new movie, a documentary film called American Maroon, that's going to be released in February. We have the Black History Museum, the Hidden History Museum out here in Jefferson Park. We're getting that together now. We're going to have a soft opening in February. That's going to be phenomenal. We got so much stuff going on. And by the way, we got a holiday, a Foundation of Black American holiday that's happening next week called the Rupta Sesame. That's the first holiday that is Foundational Black American theme. We're going to start celebrating that on December 24th. So we're doing a lot of things culturally as far as taking control of the narrative. So I'm always doing stuff and getting stuff going on and trying to empower the community.
Fantastic, Doc. I'm glad to hear it. Dusty, you got something for him?
Love it, man. Love it. Nah, man, just thank you so much once again for joining the show, and also bringing your audience as well. This is the highest viewed show or live show we've had. And I would also like to ask you, maybe because I'm all about advice and kind of ended on a positive note, you know, we've had a lot of unfortunate situations with rappers, you know, getting robbed, shot, killed, you know, whatever the case may be. Can you talk to me about your thoughts on that, and also maybe give them some advice? Young guys out there flaunting and flashing their money.
Yeah, I was down in Atlanta talking about this. I was saying when we get to another level, a certain level, we can't hang out with the same crowds we hung out with when we didn't have our bag up. Unfortunately, that's the case, because a lot of people, when you're up, everybody's not a fan. Everybody's not waving a pom-pom. Some people are waving guns. Some people are praying for your downfall. So you just have to be cognizant of that. That's a part of reality. So you got to watch your surroundings and understand you don't really hang around people who don't have anything to lose. So we got to be cognizant of that. And also we have to protect our people, man. When we see our people doing positive things, we don't let our people get in a situation where they're vulnerable and somebody can clap at them. Let's protect our people. We have a very bad problem with protecting people in the community who's doing good, or who has done good, or influential people. That's why me and Lonzo was talking like last week, and I was telling Lonzo I want to feature him in the museum because Lonzo doesn't get enough credit. I want everybody to follow Lonzo. Lonzo was extremely instrumental in the West Coast hip hop game, and by proxy, the hip hop game in general. This brother was right there, boots on the ground, grassroots. He was the glue of West Coast hip hop. And I'm not saying this because this brother's here. This brother's name, if you look at early hip hop, his name was all over the place. So we have to give our brother his flowers while he's here. I don't like this thing, but we're giving props to all of these other people who come years later and don't give props to the foundation. So our good brother Lonzo is a true to the game founder of West Coast hip hop, and we got to give our brother his shine and his flowers while he's here.
Appreciate it. Really do, Doc.
Absolutely.
In fact, I've been sharing a video earlier today on YouTube from YouTube where Cube was promoting his Mount Westmore project with an E40 and Too Short. And if you see the video, it's on Sway. It's on the Sway show. Sway. I want to say Sway and Tech. Sway in the morning. Last 58 seconds, Cube gives me a huge shout out, and I appreciate that, Cube.
That's
I really do. That's real love.
That's much
love. Yep.
Yes, indeed.
That's true love. Folks, we got about 30 seconds left in this show. Dusty, how we gonna take it out, baby? This is the biggest show we've ever had, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody that drops something in the chat room. Much love to you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And if TARIQ has to go, Lonzo, I'm not opposed to continuing a little bit and talking and keep it going. It's up to you, man. I'm good tonight. I already ate dinner, so I'm gravy. But once again, TARIQ Nasheed, I want to thank you so much for coming on our platform and once again being a positive image for young Black men out there. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, man. Y'all have a good day, guys. Y'all be good, family.
Much love, Doc. Thank you, man.
Thank you, TARIQ. Thank you. Man, Lonzo, that's one for the record books. That's one for the records right there.
We had 1,900, almost 1,100 people today, man. That's a powerful show.
I'm going to tell you right now, Lonzo, it was funny because a good friend of mine who also has a big following on YouTube texted me during the show, and she said, how did you get TARIQ on the show? And I said, connections. Lonzo just has good connections. And then she was like, connections my ass. How much did you pay him? And I said, no, Lonzo has a good relationship with people, man. Tell everybody about how important it is to just keep a good relationship and not burn bridges.
You know, man, I don't get in. I don't do petty arguments. I don't do a lot of shit that people that do on the internet. It don't pay. You know, me and TARIQ hadn't talked in a while. I saw him on the internet, but he was doing his history project, and I hit him up, told him, hey man, if you're going to do a history project on LA Entertainment, you got to call me, because if not, and he don't know my whole history. He don't know, but once I got to talking and I explained to him who I am and what I've done, he did his own research and he came to the conclusion this dude is for real. So you know what? It ain't who you hang. What's the saying? It ain't what you claim, is who you hang out with. Now I know everybody on all sides of the fence. I don't disrespect nobody. If anybody knows me, if I call you on the phone, I'm gonna call you sir. What's up, sir? Good afternoon. What's up, folks? I'm always respectful to everybody. That's just one of the things I do. And I'm probably older than everybody on this goddamn call. That's the lady. I'm 71. Okay, but I just learned that respect goes a long way. It don't cost shit to respect somebody, man. And for me, like I told a friend of mine earlier, in order for me to disrespect you, you got to earn the right for me to disrespect you. You got to earn that right. I'm gonna give you yours because you're a human, just like I am. And maintaining those relationships, because you don't ever know what somebody's gonna be, man. You don't know. You don't know. At one point in time, I was mad at everybody. I was mad at everybody because I didn't get no love. But everybody was busy doing their grind. They didn't have to look back. They didn't have time to look back and see where I was doing. But as I started to do my own thing, I realized it ain't nobody's job to tell my story but me. And so it's just like, and the same thing goes for you. Nobody's responsible. Nobody's responsible for your success but you. Nobody's responsible for your failure but you. So when you out here in these streets and you grinding, man, shake a hand, make a friend. Okay, return a call, send a friendly text. Don't be afraid to be cordial, man. All that old dry ass attitude. Hey, yo, what's up, man? Blah. That don't do nothing for you, man. Let people be glad to hear from you. Let people be responsible. They hear your voice. They know you ain't calling begging. Okay, I ain't never asked for nothing. Hey, man, would you mind doing the show? Come on, man, no problem. I did his show. Simple as that. I've been here. I got people that probably won't be on the show. They want to get paid. If you can't bring me a thousand views at this stage, I can't pay you. When I got a brother that brought me over almost 1,100 views, and just on the strength of just being what do you call it, FBA? FB, just being the FBA
Foundation
part of the
Black
FBA.
America.
Hey, if a FBA can come, a brother like TARIQ come on here and do my show and not ask for nothing, but hey, man, just to return the love. It's gonna be hard for me to pay somebody that can't get me the same amount of views. It's gonna be hard.
It's
gonna be hard. Me and Dusty don't. Me and Dusty do this strictly for the love. I tell them all the time. I probably couldn't do it this way without Dusty because I might have been busy doing something else. Okay.
And you know what? If it was for the money, Lonzo and I would have quit a long time ago. Trust me, everybody.
Trust me. We done got knocked down a couple of times. For whatever reason, our algorithms have changed, and the money we was making, I don't make as much as I used to. Okay, I get a few dollars from time to time, but ain't nowhere near what it was till they change shit. Okay, so it is what it is, folks. And that's just some old school. That's some game right there, man. Learn to make a friend. It's cheaper to make a friend than make an enemy. And just because y'all disagree, don't mean you got to dislike them. You ain't gonna agree with everybody. I don't give a damn what you say. And sometimes your opinion it don't make no difference. Sometimes I just listen to motherfuckers like, okay. All right, you from a different tribe. You have a different mindset. I'm not gonna try and convince you of mine because you ain't gonna convince me of yours. We're gonna agree to disagree and still be men about it. Can we break bread? Can we break bread? Bottom line. That's what the whole game is about anyway, trying to get as much as you can. I ain't gotta rip nobody off to get mine, so don't try to rip me off to get yours.
There it is, man.
I see. Thanks for the new sub. I see some new
subs.
Yeah,
coming. We see a lot of new subs. Thank you so much. And if you're not familiar, once again, with Lonzo Williams, please go down history. There would be no Eazy-E without him. There would be no Dr. Dre without him. There would be no MC Ren, no N.W.A. There would be a lot of West Coast hip hop without this man. His home was home to a lot of the West Coast legends that we still listen to this day. So if you are just joining the show, please check out the archives and the videos and just go down that rabbit hole, man. If you're a hip hop lover, if you're a hip hop nerd like myself, you will truly, truly enjoy this program. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button.
I get the interviews most people don't get because I have relationships.
Dude, Mike Klein, we had Mike Klein a few weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Klein, no one's gotten Mike Klein. Mike Klein from Ruthless Records. Look that one up. I would start with that. Start with Lonzo Williams, Mike Klein interview. If you are new to this channel, start with that one, please.
Mike Klein called me up yesterday, and he was the one that hooked me up with Animal, Eazy-E's bodyguard, okay? Because we cool, okay? We cool. I don't care what he is. I don't care what I am. We cool. We have a relationship. And I think most people have to get over that bullshit. You know, a man is a man, okay? Woman is a woman. Do what you got to do. And what your job is, if it don't affect me, I don't really care, okay? You know, I don't really care. So, but again, because we cool, hey, Lonzo's cool. Go on this show, man. That's all. That's as simple as that, man. Like I said, a lot of folks you probably won't see on this show because they want to get paid and they can't bring me they can't deliver the same kind of crowd that or attraction that TARIQ just brought me. Okay, me and Dusty, you know, I think we the highest we had for today was like 250, 240.
About 300, close to 300, yeah.
Yeah. So
triple that almost quadruple that tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mary,
and I see a lot real quick. I see a lot of people asking, is the interview over? Yes, we already interviewed TARIQ, but all you have to do on your phone is if you slide to the left on your right below our picture, you can check out the interview. Even though we're live right now, you could still go back and go right to the beginning. Great interview. I really suggest you guys check it out and please share it. If you have a YouTube channel, if you have a Facebook account right now, if you have an Instagram, please share this interview. Really, really, really share. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, folks. I appreciate that. Definitely. I was blown away the way the numbers started flying up before we had even hit our 5 minute mark, and it was shot up to damn near 200 people, and that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Much love.
Oh yeah. Should we continue, Lonzo, or do you want to call it a night, man? I'm gonna leave it up to you, dude. It's hard to walk away from 770 people, but you tell me.
It's hard to walk away from 780 people, man. I need to tell a joke or something, shit.
If it's up to you, we can say. I mean, I have plenty. We can keep going. I just got to go use the restroom. I got to empty my bladder, but I'll leave it up to you, man. I can ask you a question to get it going, and we can continue, or we can just call it a night.
You go and do your thing, and you come back. I'm gonna go do my thing. We both got this the same thing on our mind.
Perfect.
Right.
Well, I'll leave you with something to talk about real quick.
I got a call. Let me see what the caller gonna do.
Go ahead. Do your thing. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Call and talk to me.
Hey, what's up, boss?
What's up, Doc?
Hey, what's up, King Flex? Man, I was just really trying to get an exact date on the rally in Dallas for the business. I want to get out there, but I'm trying.
Amen. TARIQ he stepped off for a minute. Me and Dusty still doing the show right now, but TARIQ is gone. I probably got a website or something, man. I'm not sure, Doc. We didn't talk about the rally in Dallas, but I know something's coming up.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Much love. Thanks for the call, man. All right, folks. TARIQ got some fans over here. Michelle said, who's that? Gwen said TARIQ is handsome. All these emojis and shit. She gonna feed him? Hold on, let me go back to this. She gonna feed him too? Damn. I see some Some food? Shit. I can't find it. Damn it, this shit's going fast. Anyway, folks, it's going down. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Like Dusty said, it's not much in the West Coast hip hop I have not put my hand on. I have been in the game since 1979. Yes, I'm the one that put Eazy-E and Jerry Heller together. You saw the movie Straight Outta Compton. I'm that same dude. When you look at the documentary, Dr. Dre, Defiant Ones, I'm that same dude. When you see Streets of Compton, I'm that same dude. When you see Welcome to Death Row, I'm that same dude. So ain't nothing much in West Coast hip hop, especially Compton, I haven't had my hand in. For those, this is all for those who don't know, who the first time tuned into the show. Yes, I'm the Cool Herc, the Don Cornelius, and the James Brown of West Coast hip hop, because I was DJing in the park long before I knew about Cool Herc. Now, no disrespect, didn't know him, but I'm in Peg Park doing my thing. Owner of Eve After Dark. If you saw that in the Super Bowl 2022 Super Bowl when Dr. Dre and Snoop and 50 Cent and company were in the Super Bowl, I'm the owner of the Eve After Dark. That's where it all started. I'm the leader of the World Class Wrecking Crew, the first group Dr. Dre ever performed in. I'm the owner of Crew Cut Records. The brother that signed Cube to his first record deal also gave Michelle her start, along with MC8 and Compton's Most Wanted. So if this is your first time to the channel, you might not know all this right here. But since I got your attention, I got 779 people on this show right now. I think I'm gonna drop a little game on them so that way they can update their hip hop calendar, their hip hop resume. And yes, you're live with the Godfather, folks. That's why they call me the Godfather. Not because I'm a great rapper, I'm a great DJ. I provide a platform for everybody. Yes, and I do write. I wrote Turn Off the Lights. I rapped on Turn Off the Lights. I wrote several songs for World Class Wrecking Crew, but that's not my forte. That's not my main claim to fame. I'm a DJ. DJ'd all my clubs. The youngest club owner in Los Angeles history at 22 years. Back that up. The youngest DJ to be a club owner in history, period. Not just a DJ, but I'm the proprietor of the club. Do you know what I'm talking about? Not only I'm not just working there getting paid. I'm the DJ. I'm paying everybody else, including the rent, the light bill, and everything. So I'm the proprietor of Eve After Dark, and I was the resident DJ that brought on Unknown DJ, that brought on DJ Yeller, that brought on Dr. Dre, brought on Clientele. So yes, this is the history that I have created. It's my part of my legacy, and none of it got to be fabricated or embellished because it's all true. Dusty, thanks for coming back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, you know what? Reparations is a big topic in the comment section, Lonzo. The heated argument earlier, the heated discussion, not arguments, between TARIQ Nasheed and American Cholo. Shout out to American Cholo. Please follow him on YouTube as well. Has the chat room buzzing. Tell everyone your thoughts. We've talked about reparations several times, but we do have new listeners. But give us your thoughts on reparations, and shout out to Pan Africanism Strikes Back for his double donation tonight. Thank you very much.
I think reparations are definitely. Or
do you want to go use the restroom first? Do you want to go use the restroom, and then I'll keep them entertained, and we can come back to that?
I can say this without pissing on
Okay, cool. Go for it.
I think reparations definitely are in order for Black Americans, not only for slavery, but here's my personal take. Has nothing to do with TARIQ Nasheed's reparations movement, but in the 80s there was another assault on Black America, and most of y'all was around to witness it. It was the crack era. We all know where that came from. We all know where that came. We all know how that decimated the community. It still has an effect on the community right to this day. Now, people, I wasn't there, blah, 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 but the crack era, we was here. Everybody saw that. That was a straight money grab, and they used our people as guinea pigs to finance a legal war. And unfortunately, they recruited a bunch of brothers from the community, and they were able to distribute crack cocaine throughout the community, and it tore us the hell back. And I remember before crack came into the hood, we had some Sherm. Okay, we had a little Sherm, but Sherm didn't last that long. We knew that was going to tear your brain cells out. We knew that was going to happen. But when crack came along, because crack came on during the cocaine era, And if you were a young man around the cocaine era, which most of y'all probably weren't, but what I was, you don't know how cocaine, the powdered version, was promoted to us. Okay, it was like if you had cocaine back in the day, it was like having Cristal. Okay, it was like having. I gotta take this call, Dusty. Go handle it,
Go for
Dusty.
it, baby. Go ahead, I'll handle it. Go, you're on the line. What's up, caller? Caller. They're probably just checking to see if the number works. Yes, the number still works. Feel free to call in. We're hanging out tonight. And we just lost Lonzo. And I'm here, Dusty Vision. Let me ask you guys to follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, Dusty Vision TV. I cover a lot of hip hop issues, a lot of street issues, a lot of urban issues. I interview a lot of people who have done some things in their past that they regret, and they want to teach the younger generation not to do those things. A lot of prison content and things like that. So please follow Dusty Vision TV right here on YouTube. Dusty Vision TV on Instagram, Dusty Vision TV on TikTok. I just started TikTok. I don't know where Lonzo went, but I am posted up with you guys. If you are new to the program, thank you for joining the show. We've been doing this show for what, about 3 years-ish now. And met Lonzo. I actually came to interview him for my channel, Dusty Vision TV. And we connected, awesome dude. And ever since then, we've been doing this show together where we discuss, just the history of West Coast hip hop. I mean, guys, we're talking, this guy's history goes way back. We're talking, the Keys of the world. Rodney O and Joe Cooley, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren. They all came through this man, Alonzo Williams. So please check out the videos if you haven't already. Definitely a dope channel. We're at like 13,000 subscribers, just climbing, just still trying to keep going, man. Trying to keep going. Shout out to the chat room, the originals, and all of the new people that Mr. TARIQ Nasheed brought. If you have not checked out the episode with us and TARIQ Nasheed interviewing him earlier, I definitely encourage you just to slide your phone to the left if you're listening live right now, and you can check it out, or check it out after it's already been posted. What's going on? Where's everybody from? Comment down below. Where are you from? I am sitting here in beautiful Los Angeles, California right now, where it's a little bit nippy. So I got my my Ralph Lauren joint on. I got my LA Lakers cap on, and I'm feeling kind of cozy in here. But it is cold as hell in Los Angeles. And what I mean by cold as hell in Los Angeles is like around 50. 52 is cold to us, straight up. Shout out to Ontario, California. I used to work at the Ontario airport back in the day when it was a smaller airport. Now it's a big international airport, but I worked at that in Ontario airport. I drove from Long Beach to Ontario every single day, Monday through Friday, working at that Ontario airport. Small ass airport. And then they shut that down and opened up a big ass international airport. But I know you guys aren't here to know my work history and shit. Something interesting about me. What is interesting about me? Let's see here. That's a good one. I don't know. It's always a hard question. Like whenever they ask me that at job interviews, I don't know what to say. Like, should I tell them about that I'm a swinger? And me and my wife indulge in mine. That's sorry, wrong program. I forgot we were live. Just kidding. I'm not a swinger. Not a swinger at all. But I couldn't watch my wife get like touched by any other dude. Like it's going down. I don't know how those swingers be doing it. I'll watch another girl like do her thing with her, but not I ain't watching no dude. Can you like comment down below? Would you be able to watch your chick like get hammered down by another dude? Are you a swinger? Comment in the comment section. Shit, call in if you're a swinger. I would love to talk to a real life swinger. I don't know how we got on topic of swingers, but that's what happens when Lonzo leaves the show and you leave me in control. Now I'm driving and we're going all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. So put on your seatbelts and enjoy the ride, because we'll touch on this, we'll touch on that, and we'll keep on touching on stuff until Lonzo gets back he probably forgot about me, or he's probably on a very important call. Definitely hit that like button. Please hit that like button if you're new to the program. And if you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. We do this every single Tuesday. And Lonzo also has a show on Thursdays, or it might be moved to Fridays now. But anyway, long story short, he has a show with Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. I know you guys all know Yo MTV Raps. I know you guys know Yo MTV Raps. Dr. Dre and Lonzo Williams does a show every single week right here on this channel as well, where they discuss certain issues and they talk old school hip hop from a West Coast perspective and an East Coast perspective. So please check it out. What are you guys' thoughts on this Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez thing? I've been kind of following this. Shout out to DJ Academics, and I think her name is Milagro. Milagro. Oh my God, I think I'm in love. Have you guys checked this chick out, Milagro? Like, just after this, type in DJ Academics and Milagro. This is the first time I've heard of this Milagro chick. I think I'm saying her name right. But she is super, super, super sexy. Noble Lightning says, what's the number to call in? Lonzo's actually on the phone right now, so that's why it's just me and you posted up. Stop clowning in the chat and listen so you can learn something. That's it, righteous daughter. Tell these guys, listen. Please listen. But yes, 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 you can call in once Lonzo gets back. We're just posted up. TARIQ Nasheed was just on the show, and it was a great interview. I really encourage you guys to check it out. And once again, shout out to American Cholo for calling in as well, him and TARIQ. They got to discuss their differences as two men should. Please comment down below, where's everybody from? I see Pittsburgh in the building. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Got some people from the hillside in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Pittsburgh. The number is 424. That's right there in the description, dog. Look up. Like, literally, all you have to do is look up. It's in the description where it says TARIQ Nasheed interview with Dusty Vision and Lonzo. Call in 424-256-9211. I'm gonna do that like a 1980s radio DJ. Hey, everybody. You are tuned in to the Dusty and Lonzo show. That's right. Hey, give us a call. We're giving away free tickets to see Duran Duran. That's right. They're going to be at the Universal Amphitheater on October 17th, and they are going to let you backstage. If you can guess the phrase that pays, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Give us a call. 424-256-9211. That's from my friend Noble Lightning out there. 424-256-9211. That's right. Mickey Knox says, come on, son, try again with that lame-ass joke. What lame-ass joke? That's all. I'm full of lame-ass jokes, dog. That's all I do is lame-ass jokes. I'm a dad joke. I have a dad joke book somewhere. Like, my mom got me a shitter, like, you know, those bathroom readers? And it is definitely a dad joke book. I have a dad joke. Yes, yes, yes. So Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. This is interesting. Back to Milagro and DJ Academics. Shout out to DJ Academics because they're kind of, there we go. Lonzo's back. I was talking about this Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing.
All right, I'm back. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We were just talking about this Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing. Have you been abreast of that?
A little bit, not a whole lot. What we got?
Yeah, I was giving them I was letting them know to check out DJ Academics and Milagro, this female who is really, really beautiful. Like, I think I'm in love type thing. But they have been really given it detail by detail because it's not a trial that can be seen on TV right now. So we're kind of we're hoping that YouTubers are giving us accurate information. But it's pretty interesting, Lonzo. I don't know who's telling the truth and who's lying in this one. And it seems like it's a battle of the sexes thing. I don't know if you're familiar, like, with the behind the scenes thing but, you know, there's women showing up in support of Megan Thee Stallion, and there's men showing up, you know, yelling out things while Megan's walking in. Why are you lying on this guy? But it sounds pretty fishy, and it sounds to me like it's going to be a hung jury.
Fishy on her behalf?
Both, literally. So, yeah, I would say her. If you ask me today, just by the information I got, I would say that Tory Lanez did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion. That's all I'm like. I would say. What's that?
How she get a hole in the foot?
Exactly. And they're and my thought is, if she was if she got shot in the foot, she probably wouldn't be able to walk. And there's no definite medical records from what I understand. Keep in mind, guys, from what I understand, DJ Academics, and this was a few hours ago, there's no medical records that there were already gun fragments in her feet. Shout out to Montana Max for that donation as well. So I don't know, Lonzo. I'm not siding with anybody, but it's looking like it's not going to be a definite decision.
You know, that's a hell of a charge to put on somebody, because even when he shot you, that's technically attempted murder, or down to assault with a deadly weapon. All that can get you some jail time. Did he have a gun?
So and here's another one. And once again, this is DJ Academics and Milagro. Feel free to look them up. They did a whole 2-hour special on it today that I prepped for before the show. But apparently there were three DNAs on the gun. Not one of them was Tory Lanez.
Okay.
They haven't officially said that not one of them was Tory Lanez. They're talking about this Kelsey girl who apparently has an issue with Megan Thee Stallion because they were both having sex with the same person, Tory Lanez at the same time, and N.W.A apparently, and then some other guy. Like, there's this whole like crazy orgy thing. Oh man, they were all banging. Yeah, they were all banging each other. And this Kelsey girl and Megan Thee Stallion were best friends until it came to a head that night at Lonzo. Guess whose party? And I sound like a gossip queen right now, don't I? Here's the kicker. The Kelsey Jenner's party. So now a Kardashian Jenner is involved. We talked about how the Kardashian Jenner curse, man.
That's some bad. My daddy said some bad juju. No, hey, boo-boo. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I'm gonna leave it like that. Bad boo-boo. Okay. That's some bad boo-boo. Man, somebody going to jail. Somebody shit ain't gonna be right no more. It's usually gonna end up being the brother. That's the bad part about it. It's probably gonna be Tory. Yep. I don't know. That one kind of slipped past me a little bit. I've been hearing a little bit about it, but I really didn't follow it. I kind of forgot about it, tell you the truth.
So it happened 2 years ago. Not to cut you off, it happened 2 years ago, and the trial just started Monday. So this is all fresh. This just started. We're literally 2 days into the trial, so that's why it's becoming top news now. So you'll probably be hearing a lot about it within the I'm pretty sure by next week on our next Tuesday show, we'll be talking about the outcome of this.
Okay, interesting, man.
Yeah.
What can I say, Doc? Have you heard the Mount Westmore album?
Dog, out Lonzo. So E40 is in my top 5. I love E40, and I think Cube, Snoop, and Too Short are just the greatest West Coast MCs of all time. But E40 is my favorite, so I really listen because of him. Anytime E40 is on anything, I'm listening to him. And Lonzo, it's these guys. They never changed their style to fit in with the younger crowd. They never conformed. E40 in 2023 sounds like E40 in 1988. Ice Cube in 2022 sounds like Ice Cube in 1988. Too Short, same deal. Snoop Dogg, same deal. They never, and I love that they didn't conform. It's all West Coast bangers.
Check this out. Me and Kool Mo D had a conversation one time. Man, I don't want to do nothing because I don't want to. I don't want to appeal to these kids. Why are we trying to appeal to the younger generation? We got our own following, and we try. If we are the adults in the game, we're supposed to be leading by example, not following. Especially why would you want to follow somebody who is I ain't gonna say not winning, but not being smart with their careers. Okay, all these guys are they 50s. Everybody 50 something. Okay, and they I guess they came to the conclusion that they don't have to change for the times. The times will change with them. If you got a banging ass song, I don't care if it's a trap song, I don't care if it's an R&B song, I don't care if it's a gangster rap song, people will like it. If you have a following, people will follow you. That's the whole purpose of the word following. We will follow you. Right now, if Ron Isley drop a new project, guess what? Lonzo's going to buy it, okay? I'm a follower of Ron Isley. If the Dramatics, which is one of my favorite R&B groups, what's his name? LJ Reynolds drop a song, I'm going to buy it because I like what he's done, okay? There's a lot of artists. I'm going to check out anything Janet Jackson does. I'm going to check out anything Raphael Sadiq does because I like their music. So
damn, thank you again to Dana. Shout out to the real Dana. Lonzo, you would love to meet this chick, Dana. This woman, Dana. She has her own show right here on YouTube, and she is dope, dude. She does a show with Judge Joe Brown as well. Every week they do a show. Dude, she is dope. If anyone listening to the chat right now or listening to my voice doesn't know the real Dana or follow her, check her out. Thank you for donating twice already. You are so dope. She's my personal friend, and I've been on her show before. She's been on mine, and she's just an awesome person. Follow her show. She's a very intelligent, beautiful Black woman, and she don't mess around.
I was looking to meet Joe Brown Sunday. I went to the inauguration for Karen Bass when she inaugurated for mayor, and I went to the restaurant afterwards, and they said that Joe Brown was supposed to be in the building. I'm looking for him. I want to shake the brother's hand. I haven't had a chance. We've been in the same.
Dana,
vicinity.
Can we make that happen? Dana, I'll talk with Dana. We'll make it happen.
We have been in the vicinity several times. He spoke this year at the KGLH Men's Empowerment, but I was doing a prostate cancer walk. By the time I got over there, he had left. So I just wanted to meet him. That's all. I just thought he was a cool brother. He speaks his mind. I like the way he speaks his mind, and
I do too.
I just want to take his hand.
Okay, we're gonna make that happen. We're putting it in the atmosphere.
Nobody, he calls it like it is, and I can always respect somebody like that.
And I always do his voice in my head whenever he's talking.
So
shout out to him, man.
When it comes to music, I never understood why older artists felt they had to try and change their styles to appeal to a younger artist. Man, you are who you are, and you don't change that for nobody. Somebody had to tell me the same thing, man. Somebody had to tell me the same thing, because I have a tendency to, like right now, I got on a leather hat with a hoodie. Most cats don't do that, but I can do that because I'm the goddamn Godfather. Okay. If I wear cowboy boots sometimes. I used to feel conscious about my cowboy boots because somebody tried to clown me one time about my cowboy boots. I wear cowboy boots and jeans sometimes. And I'm like, dude, you wearing Jordans. Okay, cool. Why are you trying to judge me? We're not the same. We do things different. Okay. So it's nothing wrong with being different, but it's nothing wrong with being yourself. And if people don't like you for who you are, then fuck them. Okay. Because like Steve Arrington said, can't nobody be you but you. And that's what I like about now I'm gonna check out this Mount Westmore project, and I'm
highly
glad
recommend
it. That they stay true to themselves and don't try to be something else. And no. You don't do that, man. You never try to change to be nobody else. You let people come. If they like what you're doing, you let them come and gravitate towards you.
Yep. Someone says Dana's the finest grandmother I know. Dana's a good-looking woman, man. Hey, but she's awesome. Don't let her. She's just as smart as she is beautiful. D-Cause has a good question, Lonzo. We've talked about this several times in the past, but we have new listeners and viewers tonight, so why not delve into it and kind of give us some background? But D-Cause says, hey, Lonzo, quick question. In the early 90s, did you ever hear of a secret meeting with record executives to change the narrative of hip-hop music to populate private-owned prisons? We talked about it. Give it to us. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear about it at the time. I heard about it later, and people asked me this question several times before, and my response is, I wasn't at the meeting, don't know if it's true or it's folklore, but no matter what, it's in effect, okay? Whether there was a meeting or whether there wasn't a meeting, okay? I heard about this letter that went out. The guy couldn't, I heard, I interviewed Crazy Bone, a Lazy Bone, a Busy, one of them bones came on the show. Crazy. And we talked about this, and no matter whether the meeting took place or not, the effect of the meeting is in full effect. And the cool part about it is, we know if you felt that the meeting took place, but we still are drawn toward that lifestyle that does exactly what that meeting wanted to do: get brothers locked up and get brothers killed. So it makes if you know why we still playing the game. I was telling somebody the other day, we invented hip hop. That was our game. We built it from nothing. I did my part on the West Coast when nobody and everybody thought hip hop was going to die the same way disco did. They thought hip hop was going to die the same way disco. And for whatever reason, Hip hop stayed on life support for a long time. We finally got it up out the bed and running, and it became something. It was still something nobody took serious. And once he took it serious, now it's a national phenomenon. And just like what we did as dance promoters, we created something that nobody was doing. There was nobody doing no big ass dances with just DJs. That was unheard of. The people thought we were crazy. What band you having? We having DJ. What you having DJ? The fact that even after dark, DJs was so unheard of from 1979 to about 1983. I got away with keeping my club open till 6 o'clock in the morning sometime because in the law it says after 2 o'clock, no jukebox, no live entertainment. DJ ain't either one of them. It's a hybrid of both. Got a live DJ with playing records. It wasn't in the books. And for, like I said, for 3.5 years, I beat the system and kept the Eve After Dark open until sometimes as late as 6 o'clock in the morning. We did a mini a day. I watched the sun come up at Eve After Dark. So now that we created this game and we gave it away, we created it. They watched it. They sit back. They watched us. All right, let's do this. Some big promoters was doing shows at the sports arena, and kids was dying from, I think it was that shit they inhaled. They was dying for a while from shit they were inhaling shit. Okay, and they started backing up off of them. But then the EDM came along, and two things happened. EDM ain't nothing but disco. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. EDM ain't nothing but disco without Donna Summer singing. Okay, a lot of it is strictly music, but it's the same up tempo, high energy music that we had back in the 70s that got killed off. Because my theory was because white men can't dance. That was my theory. That's my theory. It had nothing to do with YouTube, Dusty. That's just my theory. Because when you had a disco, if you ever went to a disco, you saw the brothers twirling white girls around like they was rag dolls, and they was loving it. Meanwhile, the brothers, everybody wasn't John Travolta. Trust me. Anyway, they ended up killing off disco. We invented hip hop shortly after that. 1978, 77, hip hop popped his head up around on LA. And nobody thought it was gonna last. And we took something, but there was no instruments, there was no drum machines in the beginning. It was musicians, and then folks started beatboxing. People was beatboxing, making beats, and people was rapping on top of it. They was beating on desktops in school, whatever the case may be. And that was a game that we invented. We invented the game of hip hop. I don't care. I'm not gonna argue with nobody about where it came from, whether it started in New York, or I know it started in New York. I'm not gonna argue about whether it was Latinos. I'm not gonna do that today. All we know is it was something that the younger generation loved, because even on my side of town, they don't sing. I heard that shit all the fucking time. They ain't singing. But James Brown was doing it. The Watch Prophets had done it. All that shit was back in the 60s, late 60s. They was rapping on Watch Prophets and Watch Prophets and Escorts, somebody else, Escorts. They was rapping. Bottom line is, here we are, 2023. Money is coming to the game, and a game that we created, everybody else is winning, and we losing on a game that we created. How in the fuck do you lose on a game that you created? Milton Bradley can play any game he got. I bet you he gonna win. We created the fucking game of hip hop, and we the only one that's fucking losing. We lose, what, 200 rappers a year? Come on, man. That don't make no goddamn sense. We lost 200 rappers in 2021. I haven't got the counts yet, but hopefully we've lost the last one for this year so far. But we still got 3 weeks left in this year, so ain't no telling what might happen. Meanwhile, everybody say, "Oh man, it's part of the game." And I have to ask you the question again: How is it that losing is a part of the fucking game? At what part of the game do you fucking win? At what part of the game do you win? Now, understand winning. If you win in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, it don't count. You got to be winning in the fourth quarter, folks. You got to win in the fourth quarter. You just ahead of the game temporarily. unless you win in the fourth quarter when they blow the goddamn whistle, ring the bell, whatever the case may be, you ain't won. You don't win if you're in the penitentiary. You can't call it the win if you dead. You can't. That's not winning. And they told you, everybody tells you all the time, it ain't but two places for gangsters to end up: jail and dead. Jail or dead. And that's what we've been producing for the last 10 years. We didn't have that problem. Most of the guys that passed on early in hip hop was from either accidents or natural causes. As I called it, lead poison was not a factor. We didn't start seeing that stuff till gangster rap came into play. Tell me if I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'll kiss your ass on Netflix. If I'm lying, I'll kiss your ass on Netflix. But everybody wants to be a goddamn gangster till it's time to go to jail. So as I sit back here as an old school player watching this shit, man, I shake my head. I wonder what makes people do what they do. And like I said, I was on a call the other day on Clubhouse, and I'm listening to people argue about being calling niggas, and Tariq made a good point, and I think that was probably one of the best explanations I've ever heard for that. And he said, "Niggas is another word for people being oppressed black man," which means
I love that. That was fucking great. You're always going to be a victim. I've said that. You call yourself a nigga, it's like calling yourself a victim.
Right. Okay. Now, if you are supportive of your oppression, you're a nigga. I guess you're a nigga.
Yep.
Okay.
State of mind. It's all a state of mind.
State of mind. Okay. And we could probably most likely never abolish the word because the mindset will always be around. If we killed the word nigga today, motherfuckers would give it a seance. It's motherfuckers that would give it a seance. I'm not bullshitting.
Yeah, remember when they tried to cancel it? They tried to cancel them and we went in ape shit.
Motherfuckers gave it a seance. Oh no, you can't go. No, I need my nigga. Meanwhile, other groups, you can't put their names in your mouth on no occasions. And that's the difference. There's other groups you can't speak nothing about, good, bad. They got the Will Smith theory. Keep my name out your motherfucking mouth. Okay? Keep my name out your mouth. Now I'm not gonna get into semantics who it is. Why? I don't understand, but I understand why, because we don't want to be a part of that bullshit. Meanwhile, we would let our situation get totally out of hand. It's totally out of hand. The genie needs to be how you put it back in the bottle. I don't know.
Yeah, and we could do a 7-minute YouTube video just saying nigga, 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 nigga. We could do it for 7 minutes straight, and the video would not have any issue staying up. But you try doing that with picking any other race or sexual orientation or anything like that. You would be kicked off of YouTube, everything.
I tell you what you do. Take the same rappers we got right now and replace the word nigga with a derogatory word for homosexual or put bitch or even puppy and see how long that shit work.
Yep. Okay. Puppy, dogs. Exactly. Dogs. Yeah. Talk about killing dogs. Talk about killing dogs for 3 minutes on a song and see what happens.
Dogs and see how long that shit work. Or
black people
take a white guy and keep the same lyrics. See how long that shit gonna work. I saw somebody say this shit is lame. Motherfucker, that's because you don't understand.
Yeah, that's a dumb N word, right? That's a dumb nigga. He's from Niggerville. He's just passing through. He's driving from Niggerville.
He likes being in the niggerverse, okay? And some people love the niggerverse, and that's why the niggerverse is gonna always exist, okay? You never heard nobody call nobody anti-negetic, anti-niggites. You don't hear them kind of words. All right, but my word is the niggerverse, and that's where a lot of people get lost in the niggerverse. In the niggerverse, it's okay to kill black folks for bullshit. Okay, respect is an illusion that brothers die for on a daily basis. All right, please don't give me the preach. I would have to lift the offering. God damn it!
Oh shit! Got the organ going.
Come on, where the organ at? God damn it! That's my sad music. That's my wrong shit. Anyway, yeah, folks. I want to thank everybody for staying on the show as long as they have. We got 587 people still on this show.
Man.
It's still here. We
Very,
dropped
very
about 50,
dope.
but I appreciate everybody here. If you haven't seen if you don't know my history, please stick around, check out some of the videos. I'm live with Mix a Lot, Mike Klein. Next week we have Animal Eazy-E's personal bodyguard. We weren't tight, but we hung back in the day. And that's enough to get him on this show for free. All right. That makes a big impact to me, because that shows you respect me, respect my show, you respect my audience. So folks, we'll be here next week, Dusty, God willing.
Man, for sure. Thank you, Lonzo. Thank you, audience.
I gotta say this before I go, dude. Right now there's a proposal going out to the city of Compton to change the street to Eazy-E Street. Okay. To rename a street after Eazy-E. My question is, would you think it should be Eazy-E Street, Eazy-E Drive, or just Easy Street? Think about that for a minute.
I like Easy Street. That just hits me good, like Easy Street. It's like Electric Avenue, you know what I'm saying? It just like it gets you like, okay, recognize it right away.
And this is why I'm the Godfather, folks. I look out for everybody. I can't let that brother's legacy go unrecognized. I'm seeing people all over the world recognizing this brother in various ways. I see Easy
Street already off top. I'm seeing Easy Street. Yep. That's it.
Okay, so Easy Lane or Easy Street 100. Much
Easy
love.
Street, baby, because that's take me to Easy Street. Like it's a term. I love that.
Okay. All right, folks. Much love, Chris. Much love, everybody, folks. Yeah. So this is something that Lonzo is doing, not only as the godfather of West Coast hip hop, but as the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. There's a Walk of Fame we're working on to recognize everybody from Compton. Compton's history started long before N.W.A, folks, but you got to be a little old to know that. Thank God I'm old. We definitely want to recognize Eazy-E, because he's one of the first hip hop millionaires out of Compton. What else?
Can you tell us how you met? Are you chilling? We chilling for a minute, or are we about to wrap it up? You tell me.
Ain't no hurry.
I'm saying, okay, cool. Because look, we got a lot of new people here, and they may know the name, they may not. But if you've seen Straight Outta Compton, within the first 5 minutes, you're in the movie, right? You're portrayed in the movie of Straight Outta Compton. He is he's the boisterous, loud club promoter who tells Yella and Dre not to play that loud ass hip hop music or whatever the case is. Boys in the Hood was recorded literally in the same studio that he's sitting in right now, 35, 40 or whatever years later.
Right.
Can you tell us, Lonzo, because we have new people here, let's tell everybody how you met Eazy-E, and then we'll go from there.
I met Eazy-E at Eve After Dark. Okay, they didn't put Eve After Dark in the Straight Outta Compton movie. Eazy wasn't driving a 64 Chevy, he was driving a Suzuki Samurai. Him and Dre came to the club, they was partners. And they came to the club trying to get in. And back in the day, Eve After Dark had a dress code. You couldn't wear certain things in Eve After Dark. And they both came wearing things that wasn't permitted with the dress code. And because I knew Dre's people, here's the crazy part, Dre's uncles and aunts lived on my street. We grew up on the same neighborhood, Carlton Avenue, right there in LA County. And I knew his people. Dre dropped some names on me. You know, my cousin, my uncle, and Betty, and Theodore, and Deborah. Oh, okay, cool. Come on in, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you a little young, but if you change your clothes, I'll let you in. And that was the deal. And a couple weeks later, he came back. He changed his clothes, had a little skinny tie on, and he came back with Eazy. Eazy still in her own jeans, still looking like he didn't belong in Eve After Dark. And we got into it. We had a little something. So I let Dre up, then let Eazy up on purpose, because Eazy was talking shit. To keep your little ass out of there. And that night, Dre got on my turntables and rocked the crowd. I tell people this story. I can't change it. I can't lie. I don't know how he got on my turntables. I didn't let him up there. Nobody got on my turntables without my permission, allegedly. But that day, he got up there and he did this Mr. Postman mix, and people danced in the club. They danced confused because Dre had Mr. Postman and Planet Rock jamming at the same time, and these records they're not supposed to mix, but he made them work. And shortly after that, Easy started coming by the house. Before Dudos, Skateland, Dudos, I hadn't even got to Dudos yet. He come by the house and hang out with Dre, driving his Suzuki Samurai. And I was selling my bootlegs. I was selling bootlegs and surgery around the same time, damn near. And he saw I was making money with the shit. And he started talking to me about it. And he just hung around. He was never trying to be a rapper. He was never trying to be, he wasn't trying to be a record executive. And then we started having some real success with the record industry. And he wanted to get into it. Rumor has it he got into it with one of his people. His cousin got killed, and he knew what the stash was. He didn't want to be in the dope game anymore. Although I know for a fact he stayed in for a minute because we made some phone calls and some other shit. I ain't gonna get into that shit on TV, but make it long, on this call. But bottom line is he eventually wanted out, and I was his first consultant before Jerry Heller. In fact, I'm the one that introduced him to Jerry Heller. I helped him get us look at the Ruthless logo and look at any old crew cut drawings. They were drawn by the same person, Daryl Davis. I hooked him up with my lawyer. His first lawyer was my lawyer, Ken Clavens. I took him to the lawyer. I'll never forget when Easy wanted his first contract. The lawyer says, he says, how much is the contract? He said $600. Easy's face dropped. $600. And all he did was called his secretary, print out a contract. Okay. And he said, how much is it? $600. And Easy like, $600? And I just looked at him and said, that's how much mine costs, Doc. And he said he wanted a fair contract. And most lawyers got different contracts already in their computers. They got the one with the little bitty dick in it. They got the one with the big ass shishka dick in it. Okay. And he wanted the one with the medium, with the mild dick. And excuse me, ladies, I know I shouldn't be saying it like that, but he wanted the one that was somewhat fair. And he paid $600. He went to a sock, pulled out the money, counted, because most lawyers don't deal in cash, like they get their money in checks. And I took him around to everybody I knew, introduced him to McCullough, took him down to the SWAT. Boy, he's already going to the SWAT meet, but he didn't know Steve like that. And Steve, y'all know, rest in peace, would come by the house from time to time, and he owned the SWAT meet at the Rhodium SWAT meet, and he'd come by here, and I was already selling him boxes and boxes of my underground mixes. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And Easy would be here and see me just give him boxes of records. My van would be full till Steve got here. And when Steve left, two things happened. My van was full, my van would be empty, and my pockets would be full. Great combination for me every Friday. Because Steve, he had to have his records for Friday for the SWAT meet on Saturday and Sunday. So I'd go pick him up on Thursday, van be loaded overnight, and Friday morning, my van be empty, my pockets be full. And that shit was just some good, it was just a good business lesson for a lot of people. In fact, if you like I said, watch the Sway in the morning interview with Mount Rushmore with E40, Cube, and Too Short, you'll see Cube gives me a big ass plug about people who influenced him. So Cube was here at 15 years old hanging out. Dre was around here 18, 19. There was no Miss Chalet at that time. She hadn't been here. Cube, when we got our first record deal for CBS, I got Cube signed first. They called Wrecking Crew, but he asked me, did I have any other groups? And I really didn't, but Cube never just won a deal for K-Day, the best in the, they were the runner-ups in the Best in the West K-Day contest, and they lost to a group called Champagne Press and Curl, okay? And it was some bullshit how they lost, but nonetheless, it was just interesting. And I took, Dre put together a demo. I had my own demo studio at the pad. Dre put together a demo of a song called She's a Skag. You can probably find it on YouTube. She's a Skag. And that was a single deal we got for Stereo Crew. And shortly after that, Wrecking Crew got signed. But up until then, Easy was just hanging around. He had very little interest being in the record business for a while. And then once he started seeing we got signed and some other things, and then we got signed and shit went bad for us. And that's what everything shifted. and he wanted to do he wanted to do a record company, but he was never supposed to be an artist. And people forget, people don't realize that even in the movie Straight Outta Compton, he was not trying to be a rapper. He was trying to just be a record executive, and he got thrown into the situation because some brothers that came to this very studio in my house where I'm sitting right now, HBO, Homeboys Only, did not want to do. They were from New York and didn't want to do the song, because they could relate to 6'4" Chevys and riding down the street in my 6'4". And Dre talked him through doing Boys in the Hood, and the rest of it's kind of history, folks.
And man, I'm telling you, if you guys don't know, you gotta check this channel out. We have so many stories where Lonzo discusses his history and who he's discovered. I don't know why I'm getting an echo now.
I don't know. I don't hear it.
Oh, okay. Cool. I can deal with it. You know what, Lonzo? Can you talk about how you met Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre and Easy came at the same time. It's pretty much the same way. In fact,
I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. This is some Dre wouldn't know because he was a fucking baby when it happened. I know it sounds crazy, but it's honest to God truth. Dre's dad and mom and my older sister, I have a sister a little older than me, that's 11 years older than me. They was all buddies. My dad had a lawn cutting service, and everybody worked with my dad. So when Dre's dad had Dre, he came down to my house, was talking to my older sister. Hey, I just had a little boy. And I'm sitting there, 8 or 9 year old kid, ear hustling. And that was the first time I heard the name Andre. And it didn't Andre. I'm used to Elmers and Johns and Bobs and Franks. Andre, what the fuck is Andre? And I heard the name as a kid and didn't register until even that night at the club when he came to me. It didn't register who the fuck he was until maybe about 6 or 7 months later. I realized he was the same kid that his dad told my mom about. Now I know people say, what the fuck you remember some shit like that? I remember some of the damnedest fucking shit, okay, for whatever reason. But again, like I said, Dre's dad lived on my street. And him and my dad, he worked with my dad for a while. His name was Theodore. And my older sister knew them all. My mom knew everybody. We live in the street called Carlton Avenue, but they dubbed it Plum Nelly. And every year, well, for a while, they used to have a Plum Nelly reunion. That's some top secret shit I only shared on this channel right here. Plum Nelly. I don't even know what the fuck it means, but it is. That was they dubbed our street. It was Plum Nelly. And Dre's mom used to give reunions for Plum Nelly at her house from back in the day. Real talk.
Oh, dope. Let's stay for a few more minutes and talk about how you met Ice Cube while we're at it.
Well, I met Ice Cube hanging out with Dre, and we were doing Wrecking Crew. We weren't the judges, but we were at the at World on Wheels when they lost to Shampoo Press and Curl. And it was really a heartbreaking thing because Cube kind of blew up at the DJ for starting the song the wrong way, and I think they kind of had it in for him anyway because Cube and them was good. They were calling themselves the Stereo Crew at that time. The Stereo Crew was pretty good, but Shampoo Press and Curl had a different thing about them. They were three dudes that they had this fly ass hair. They could dance. They had this little funny ass dance they did. And they brought all their folks from Washington down, and they kicked ass and they won the contest. And Cube then felt like they got cheated. But what they didn't know is I'd already talked to Larkin Arnold, my executive producer at CBS, about getting them a record deal. So when they lost from K-Day, we just rushed to the studio, did a quick demo because they had a song out called "Fly Girl." And that was the hit song back then.
Fly Girl. That was my shit.
And we came back and made an anthem record called "She's a Skag," and that's real shit. We made "She's a Skag." Larkin Arnold loved it, and they gave us a single deal. I had to go out and hire lawyers to fuck with my lawyer. Plus, we had to go to court. It was a mess, man. It was a mess. It almost made me not want to mess with teenagers because you just can't sign a teenager. They can't sign a contract. Even their moms and dads legally can't sign a contract without the judge's approval. It's called the Jackie Coogan law. Some crazy ass shit that happened back in the 40s and 50s that they still impose today. But it was a good thing. But we, it worked out. Record didn't do nothing. The only time we made any money on the record was when Michael Jackson played it. And if you listen to, I think it is either Thriller, you hear it very faintly in the beginning of Thriller. Michael Jackson actually used the record. It's a scene where there's a radio in the Thriller or Billie Jean. One of them.
Okay.
I think it might be Billie Jean. Might have been Billie Jean.
Was that with Katie? Was that where Katie was on the group also? Because Michael Jackson was one of CIA, I think.
Huh?
Was it the CIA?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I'm Bad, I think. I think it was I'm Bad.
I'm Bad. Oh, yeah. It's a scene where there's a radio being played in the very beginning.
Katie talked about it on my show, yep.
Yep. And in the very beginning, you hear it very faintly in the background. And that's CI, that's Stereo Crew. And it kind of caused a problem because we didn't know they did it. They did it as a promotion, but the guys thought they should have got paid for it. They don't pay you for music videos, okay? Music videos don't make money. So nobody understanding the game that well, not even not even I understood the game that well to make it, make a accurate call, and it caused a little rift because I thought I ripped them off, and I didn't know they did this shit. They told the Stereo Crew told me. Anyway, it's just one of them things, man. That shit. It is what it is, folks.
There it is. And let's do the last one, and maybe we can wrap it up, and you can also wrap it up with what you have coming up, because I know you're traveling a lot, and you can give everybody an idea of what you have going on. And before I even get into this last person, I want to encourage everybody out there to check out Alonzo's book, Not Without Alonzo, wherever books can be sold. Not Without Alonzo, where he tells the truth about West Coast hip-hop. If you are a hip-hop enthusiast, a hip-hop nerd like myself, you would really enjoy this. But let's talk about the last person, Lonzo, because you still travel with this brother and you're still doing business with him as well. DJ Yella. Where did you meet DJ Yella, and what do you guys have coming up next?
DJ Yella, he probably had the most interesting story, entry to World Class Wrecking Crew, because I had, it was back in the day as a promoter, we hung posters to promote. It was physical labor. We had to get out at 12 o'clock at night, and we hang posters to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to promote Eve After Dark. And some cats come along and snatch your shit down. It was a major violation, bottom line. Somebody need to ass whoop. So what I did, I got pissed off, and I wanted somebody with a car to go out and snatch down every poster on the wall, and I put out a bounty for every poster that was on the walls on any pole in Los Angeles. And I told them dance promoters, but Yella brought back dance promoters, Lost Dogs, Car Wash, everything I could possibly bring back, he brought to me. And he had a little white Monarch, little Mercury Monarch, little ugly car, like a fake ass Seville. Anyway, and when he came back, I had to respect his hustle. I paid him. And he hung around for a minute, and about 2 weeks after that, I think it was, shortly after that, my main DJ, because I stopped playing that much, my main guy, Dr. Rock, had left the record crew and moved to Texas. So I needed somebody to fill in the slot, because I ran the Eve After Dark like a radio station. Everybody had slots, so I had a slot open up. So he said he could DJ. I gave him a slot, and we stuck around from that point on. And he came back to the crew. Not officially back to the crew, but he came back to hang out with me about 2 years ago, right before right when COVID first hit. He made I went to his first of all, he became a born again Christian, cut all the porn out and shit. And it was right around this time, because I remember I saw his pastor at the Christmas parade. He said the next day Yella was going to make his testimony in church. And that day at the church, he says he wanted to apologize to people that he hurt. And he said, I want to apologize to you. And I was looking around, and he said, you, Lonzo Williams. I'm like, huh? And I never was mad at him. I didn't know he was mad at me. But he said, yeah, I was mad at you. And he never could tell you. He said, I don't know why, but I was mad at you. And shortly after that, his pastor he had a dream. And his pastor told him, hey, man, the dream told him to come back and get with Lonzo. And he came by here and we had like a 3 or 4 hour conversation. It was like we never missed a day. We never missed a day. And we've been hanging out ever since. Me, him, and clientele. We do book signings together. He still does this thing independently. I do mine as well. But we get together. We usually get together a couple times a month and go out and do events, do book signings and whatever. Anyway, February 1st here in LA, Chase Bank is doing a Black History Month event. And myself, DJ Yella, and clientele will be doing a book signing and a presentation at Chase Bank down in LA Live. You can go to Eventbrite and register. It's only 50 people allowed. It's a real private situation. Free food, free drinks, but it limited it to 50 people. So you need to register ASAP if you want to be a part of it. And it's right down there, like I say, across the street from the Crypto Center. And February 1st, a Wednesday from 6 to 8. You might want to get there about 5:30 because it's going to start on time because we got to be out of there by 8:15. And that's what we got going. And don't forget, y'all, man. Next week, next Saturday, next Tuesday, me and Dusty will be interviewing Animal, the Eazy-E's personal bodyguard. Now, this brother, he's a big dude, big son of a bitch. Okay, to wear combat boots. When he opened the door, it's like the motherfucker. Did you open it to another room? What? Where is the desk? Oh, there's the desk. It's behind your big ass. Anyway, big brother, cool brother. One of the cool brothers would come by here and hang out with Eazy, him and the twins. Eazy had 3 guys he ran with most of the time. It was the twins and Animal. And sometimes Big Man, another guy. He passed recently, though. He passed a few years ago. Anyway, folks, that's it for the night. We done did 2 hours, Dusty.
Man, I love it, dude. And before we go, Lonzo, last thing on topic, we got to let them know about your show with Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. They have every single Thursday or Friday. It's interchangeable right now, but just know that Lonzo does a show. Yes, with Dr. Dre, the other Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. It's a very, very dope show. And I'm going to ask everybody, if I haven't asked already, please subscribe to my channel as well, Dusty Vision TV, Dusty Vision TV. I think you will enjoy my content as well. Go for it, Lonzo.
I want to thank all 1,050 people that showed up tonight, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you, my man, TARIQ, for coming through and hanging out with us, man. Much love to you. Hope it's going to boost the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We got a lot of stuff. We got next year. We just closing. We giving you a tip of the iceberg for next year. Okay, tip of the iceberg for next year, folks. So yes, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being here, Dusty. It's been a great year, man.
My man, it is. 2023 is about to be doper.
This is how you go out, folks. Much love to everybody in the chat room. For everybody that drops something in the super chat, I appreciate it very much, folks. Thank y'all for hanging out with us, Dusty. What you got to say?
Always, man. Love you, dude. Love everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And before you exit, please hit that like one more time. Share this show. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe. Thank you so much, Lonzo. I'll talk to you next week, dude.
We out of here, y'all.